So my background is pretty noisy, but I hope you guys can hear me. Question: can a broken crayon still color? Of course it can still color. The possibility exists that the crayon now has two ends from which you can color with. And I'm going to make this in relation to human beings. So coming out there as a blank slate, a person without experience, without errors, and all of that. When after you have made errors in life or mistakes, so after you have gained experience, you have now become wiser. You now have two choices to choose from, which is the choices that you did before that caused the mistakes, or you choose to do things another way that the outcome might eventually become better. Now it's in the same way with the crayon. So the crayon has been broken. You can now either choose to color from either ends of the crayon. It is what the picture that you are coloring will come out to be that is what will matter, really. So one not dead, no dash away. The crayon not done, no dash away. You can still color. It's just how you choose to use it for color and what impact it will bring in at the end. Just to put it in a simpler way, parents, pick up the slacks wherever you are, whenever you recognize that you are not doing well enough. Learn from your mistakes. If you have failed 1,000 times, you have learned 1,000 new ways that you are not to try again. So we are human, and as humans we will err, but it's not about what you do today, it's about what you do to fix those mistakes or errors.
Parenting is a major part of growth and development, yes. Because look, youths need guidance, and many are we as parents who feel say the youth them know. And them don't know. You see me, as much as our feel say them have sense and them should have know certain things if you never teach them, just know say them never know. As so many of we will grow up here now and have past trauma and them thing there. You're adult you know. If you're adult and you still not get over your past, that means that you're trapped in your past. You not live your full potential. The only way to escape past trauma is to decide your mind to put it down and not relive it. Remember, you're living at the present. Your past is not you, and your future is not determined as yet. So, you have the power to paint the future there. But if you keep on reveling at the past of your trauma, and so you never ever escape that trap where you set for yourself. So when I say let it go, you see me? And it help too. Because if you free yourself, you have more mind and meds so you can deal with your youth them. You see it? See the positive in a certain things and use it as a fuel. So it is like experience and ways of forget your youths not to go down the same path as you. That's all I can say. Yeah? Big up.
Alright, watch out now. Let me tell you where everything start go down in a downward spiral. I tell you. You know why parents, especially single parents, are now living with traumas and know why our children are the way they are these days? Yes, it's because of traumas and broken home. Broken homes, the absence of the father. The absence of the father is one of the biggest factor why our children the way they are today. But I believe the number one factor, Zin, the number one factor is children are having children. Just go on TikTok. Just go on TikTok right now and watch especially the young mothers, the single young mothers. 98% of those young ladies that you see on TikTok, they have a son or a daughter. And all them do the first thing as them open the app, you see them sit down, them open them foot. and set the phone in a certain kind of way so you can see under them. You go in at that in the comment section and say something like, close the leg man, we are there, so them just block you. And then over there you have some thirsty men, you know, say, hey baby, where are you located? Where are you now? Can I pick you up? This, that, and just feeding into their ego. And that make them giggle and them feel nice because those are the attention that they want. But as I'm saying, I'm not stray far from the point. It is children having children. You know, these mothers are not mentally stable to mother a child. You understand? And because of that, them end up sink themselves in traumas when them ego drive them to do nasty things. The father end up leave. Most time them run the father. Most time the father them themselves don't ready for pick me and them just leave the home. And because of that, that result in a fatherless home and a trauma mother. A fatherless home and the mother left in trauma. And all of that just pass on to the child and the child just grow up and then the cycle repeats itself. You understand? So that's why we have children now. We have pupils now with no morals. You understand? Nothing about themselves. Them just living in this social media era. You know, ruthless and lawless. You understand? Yeah. That are my 2 cents. Yes, I.
Good morning, my view. Bless up yourself. Now, this question, can a broken crayon still color? Yes, it can. It can. It may not. It's not going to be the same as it was before in this form of length, but can it still color? Yes, it can. As a mother, and you have your children who, you know, you're trying to help them to steer them the right way. And how can we rewrite our wrong? First of all, for me, I have an older son, and before, because there's a lot of things you don't know before, and so some things you do wrong. Like, for instance, myself, I would give him whatever he wants, the Xbox, the this, the that, and whatever, not knowing that what I was doing was making a monster. I don't, parents need to understand when you do those things, that's what you're doing. And so then you see he get addicted to it, and then the behavior start to his behavior change, behave in a certain way, get disrespectful and so forth. So later on, when I realized that what I was doing was not right, was absolutely wrong what I was doing, giving him whatever he wants and so forth, and and then he get into himself because he get addicted to the game. I'm telling you. So I have to sit him down. I have to actually come to terms with myself and said, what you did, what I did was absolutely wrong. Um, I shouldn't have done that. You understand? And it's where I talk to my son and I let him know, I love you, but, I talk to him and I let him know I was wrong. You know, I was wrong in what I did and how I go about it. You understand? Now, as a matter of fact, recently he said to me that, even though he was against me in a lot of things, but now he see, where I was right, you know, and how, his attitude towards me now has changed because, before, he's very bitter, very angry and stuff like that, because then after I see where I went wrong, I was going about it the wrong way now in trying to correct it, but then I have to acknowledge where I as a parent was wrong. You understand? So a broken crayon can still color, and when do you reach out for help? When the moment we recognize that we need help, we should reach out for help, because sometimes as parents we think we can do it all, we don't need nobody to help us, we are okay, but we're not. We need somebody, but sometimes it's not easy to find somebody to talk to. Some of us, we don't want to go counseling and things like that because we think, oh, that's not for us. But counseling, it depends on the counseling, may not be for everybody. You may have a pastor or somebody you can go and talk to with your child, and but as parents also, we need to learn to admit when we are wrong, when we go wrong, and let the children know, yes, I was wrong. But because we feel that we're parents, we always think that we are right, and we're not always right. When we're wrong, admit that we're wrong. So by admitting to my son that the way I was raising him and the things that, just giving him whatever he wants, I was wrong in that regards, and so forth. So now we have a better relationship, because I admit to him, I sit him down and I talk to him and I let him know. And instead of talking um, down to him, I listen, because as parents, sometimes as Jamaican parents, we want to, yeah, 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 yeah. No, I listen. All right, what? Let's talk. I listen, what he has to say, and so we can reason about what is going on. And it has done a lot. It has changed our relationship. I've seen where now he's saying, Mom, he loved this way about me now, and that I can listen to him. We listen to each other. We're not talking at each other, but we're listening to each other. That makes more sense. So, not every child can come back from when they are being, excuse me, from when they're gone astray, but some can. So, as parents, we should learn to listen, because we think we're parents, we must not listen, but we must learn to listen. Just show humility and show the children how we deal with how we resolve issues. We have to learn to listen to each other. So a broken crayon can still color. Yeah.
My view, let me say this: good morning or good afternoon. Honestly, a broken crayon can still crayon. However, we as parents cannot rewrite our wrongs. Um, as a person still dealing with childhood trauma, I have never forgotten about it. The feeling is still there. It is a very traumatic experience thinking about it all the time, seeing the person, still forgiving the person, but it's like you still haven't gotten over the things that have happened. It's it's something that is but let me say this: I have two girls. One of them is a teenager, and I have always said that the things that happened to me in my life at her age, I would not want a repeat of it to happen to her. And she did something that was so it was so, it just brought me back to where I was when I was her age. I was at work one day and I said, I am so happy that what happened to me at her age, when I was her age, what happened to me, I would not want it to happen to her. And it did, somewhat, somewhat. And it brought me back to everything that I had, or I thought that I have gotten over. It just brought me into a pit of depression, sleepless nights, and it's like there's nobody that you can truly talk to about your issues. I still have not spoken to anyone really about how it feels being in that drama. I have never asked for help. I just think that there will be no one out there that would understand what I am going through. I don't think that there is anyone. I think only God understands, and I pray to Him all the time what I have gone through and how I do feel about it until this day. But it is something that, for me, it will never be resolved. It will always be there. It is just trying to bring my girls through it, for them to see somewhat of what, or a little bit of what I went through, or give them the clean version of it to say, this should not, should never, will never. I would not want this to befall you.
Good day, my view family. Good day, good day, good day. No, me I reflect on the question, yeah, and it remind me of a little test. All right, guys, I would like you to bear with me. I want each of you to get a piece of paper, clear, nice white piece of paper, nothing with nothing on it, right? And with this piece of paper, I want you to do. I want you to tell it 5 upsetting things. But each time you tell it 5 upsetting things, I want you to crush it. So let me start. 1, you're black and ugly like. 2, you favor your dirty pooper. 3, me should have bought you. 4, me sorry the day me have you. 5, you not turn out to be nothing just like your dirty pooper. Now, after saying that, years later, you recognize you know that you were angry. You recognize that you had a spirit of hate. You recognize that all of what you have said is wrong. So you went back to whomever, whether it's a child or whether it's as a parent. So you're going to go back to your child now, and that this is after years or months or weeks, whichever time after, and you're going to say, I love your dark skin. I've always loved your dark skin because I've always loved your dark father who's a dark person. So the paper starts, you're going to start straightening out about the paper now. So you're going to straighten out about the paper. I know that you are going to aspire to be the best you can be. I was just angry and upset the time when I said it because I was going through too much. And you find an answer for all the 5 questions that you stapled out. And when you look, I want you to look at the paper to see if it is the same. Now let me know if you tell me if the paper is the same. I've done this test so many times. The paper can never be the same. The paper can never be the same. Why? Because the paper now has no wrinkles and crinkles and ditches and cuts and bruises stemming from initially crushing the paper. The paper can never be the same again. And it's the same for parenting. When we are saying things to our children, parents, do we think about that forever line that is going to put in the child? Do you think about how it's going to affect them years down the line? The problem is some of us ourselves are going through that. And I'm telling you that these are things that I know of. People in their 50s, 60s, because their mothers tell them, because the mother was with a black man and she had black children first, but then she went to a browner man and she had brown children, and she told the black person, the black child, that she's only good enough to take care of the browner children. This is what I'm very, very close to this. How do you take away that from someone? How do you make them not remember this? How are they not going to remember this? Are we thinking about the things that we are saying to our children? Are we trying to understand where they're coming from? Is this what we have? What is our standard? No, because I'm sure that when we see our children thriving, we feel very good, like when they win the race, when they come first, second, third, or fourth in class, whatever your standard is. How do we feel when you hear them answer someone in a way where you say, I approve of this? Tell me, how do you feel? So if you do not put good in things and standard in place, how is it going to work? Can a broken crayon still color? It can. But if it's broken, it's not going to have any point. How do you get back that point? Because it's not going to be jagged. And it might still work, still have the same color, but it doesn't color the same. Think about that paper test. Think about that. 5 questions crushing that paper. And then opening the paper to every, proper answer. And let me know the process or the progress of the paper. Alright? I'll be back. Some parents are taking on traumas or are using the traumas of their youth to impact the child. They don't even know this. I've seen it so many times. Persons being overly strict on their parents because on their children because their parents were not as strict, and things happen to them that shouldn't have happened. Parents are ignoring the fact that they have molesters in their family because they have been molested and is used to it, and they don't want to put cast any form of negativity on the family, because if everybody knows say grandpa, daddy, uncle, brother is a pedophile or someone who molests persons, then it's going to, a family, disgrace the family. So what are the traumas parents are we working through? No, it's never too late. Never too late to get help. It's always okay to ask for help. Some way we're too strong. Some we're too manly, and that's the problem. We are not able to recognize the signs because we ourselves are going through our own personal traumas. Them beating the way you get until you're black and ugly. Those times when you are saying something to your parents dismiss you. Those are some of the things that can traumatize you. Persons who wet bed, your parents put it down in a drum of water at age 9. Put it down in a drum of water 5 o'clock in the early morning in the chillani wet weather. December. Those times. Imagine those kind of traumas that you have carrying. Being constantly beaten by your parents. So every little thing you get beaten for. Are those kind of trauma? Are those things traumatizing? Not having a father, not having a mother. Are those things traumatizing? Not being able to find a meal on a daily basis. Is that traumatizing? Being left on your own virtue. Is that traumatizing? Without a sense of direction. Do you think those things are traumatizing? Yes, they are. All of these things are trauma. Dealing with trauma. Having to deal with trauma. So it will come out in different ways that you don't understand. You don't even know that you have trauma. I am telling you, seek help, because without intervention, you will become the person you don't want. You didn't want your children to encounter. That's the person that you become. Parents who follow trends and make sure so their ear and their knees up. Do you think that's something that we can look into? Do you think some of those monies can go for extra lesson? Look at little Timmy. This little Timmy is not, he sees 6 as 9. Do you think that's a form of dyslexia? Do you think he may need to go to the micro college to check him to see if he is dyslexic? Do you see a child behaving a little way and not developing as the other children? Do you think as a parent you should go ahead and get the necessary assessment for them? Yes, these are. Get the necessary assessments. Do you see your child behaving in a volatile manner that you don't understand and you know that you're doing the best that you can? Rise life management. Do you see your son at age 19 out there on the corner saying him can't find nothing to do? Heart trust in a stay. Are we doing all we can? Just a question.